Hi there. Today we're going to be taking a brief look at the Esquire client dashboards. So, a dashboard is basically a series of widgets and diagrams that you can interact with, and it'll give business owners a really solid understanding of the performance of their advertising campaigns, as well as their market share statistics and customer demographics and such. So, we're going to start at the portal login. It's located here at portal.esqads.com, and we're going to log in as our company, Bulk Home Furnishings. And they've got two locations we're going to look at today with their own separate campaigns. So, very first, you're going to be brought to the homepage. You can see at the top it says, "Welcome to the Esquire dashboard." And on the right, we've got our main contacts and we've got some Esquire news. And on the left here, we have our navigation menu. So, we're going to open up this folder here. It's called Campaign Statistics. It has our different dashboards in it. It says campaign stats, we have display stats, we have meta stats, which is Facebook and Instagram. And then we've got OTT stats, which is over the top, which means, streaming services and smart TVs and such. We've also got our market statistics folder, which has market insights and my location insights as well. And then we've got our home button, which will bring us back here. So, something to mention, the campaign stats will be available based on what campaigns you have running. So, for example, if your campaign doesn't include OTT, you won't see an OTT stats dashboard, and you also won't see any OTT related data in your campaign stats. So, speaking of, let's go ahead and click on that and look at this dashboard first. Up at the top, we have a brief description of what we're looking at and some key statistics. We see our total impressions, our CTR, which is our click through rate, and the national average CTR as well. And then below this, we can see a timeline of the changes in our impressions per day. And each different colored line here is one of our different audiences. So we've got digital neighbors, in market shoppers, new movers, and OTT. This is our impression statistics, but we can now take a closer look at our audience statistics, clicking here. And on the left, now we see a breakdown of impressions by audience. So what percentage of our impressions go to new movers as opposed to OTT and digital neighbors? And then on the right, we can see the CTR breakdown for each audience separately. And with each of these widgets, we can click on this little info button here. We'll get a little bit more of an explanation as to what we're seeing. You can see that for this one as well. Now, this is just data based off of the past 30 days. We can change that by looking at our filters on the right here, specifically our filter by date. If I click this pencil, it'll bring up this edit window. We've got a lot of things to choose from. We can have the last 30 days, or we can change that to say the last 60 days, or the last 60 weeks, or the last 60 months. We can also do a specific year, or we can do a specific quarter, or a specific month. We can even choose a start date to an end date. And we can say, give me all of the data that's not in a specific year or that's not in a specific quarter. But we will currently leave it at the 30 days. There are other filters as well, depending on what dashboard we're on. So filter by account lets you choose what accounts data you're viewing. This is only really something you'll use if you have multiple accounts or multiple businesses. Filter by client grouping, however, is sort of like a custom set of groups that you can work out with your project manager. So in our example, if I click on this, we currently only have two. There's one for Arizona and one for Colorado. Doesn't have to be geographical, but it often is. And then we have filter by audience, which will let us choose specific audiences. So if I wanted to just see OTT and new movers, it would block out everything else. So let's take a look at the display stats dashboard real quick. Simply put, this is going to be our CTR and impressions breakdown for ads served through someone's feed or on websites, basically anything that isn't specifically Meta or OTT. Fairly simple. So let's go ahead and look at our meta stats. So this is quite similar, but we can see our impression statistics look about the same. We have our different audiences here, but we also have an age and gender statistics section. So on the left, we can see a breakdown of the impressions served to different age ranges as well as their genders. And then on the right, we can see their performance, so percentage of clicks and of impressions and of reach. Next up is our OTT stats. So OTT dashboard is a bit different. This is going to show us data about our video ads served via smart TVs and streaming services. So we have our impressions timeline like we've seen before, but we also have a breakdown of those impressions by device on the right. We can see connected TV is kind of dominating this area. And then on the left, we have a breakdown of streaming platforms like Roku and Pluto TV. We also have a whole 19% others. So if I click on this, we can see that separated into other smaller streaming services. So those are the dashboards for our campaign stats. Let's go ahead and look at our market stats, starting with My Location Insights. So up at the top, again, a brief description of what we're going to be looking at. It also shows our location count and our percent of market share. We've also got these 3 sections below that we can click on and expand, starting with My Market Share. So we'll go ahead and open this up, scroll down a little bit. So here we're going to see the market share of all of our locations. In this case, we have 2. The left is going to show our performance over the past 3 months, and then the right is going to show the change in market share percentage over the past 30 days. To get out of a section, you just close it by clicking the header. And then we can go to our next section, which is going to be customer crossover. So with your project manager, you can work out a group of up to 10 competitor locations per campaign that you run. And you can compare your performance to them based on the data that we find. Here, we're just going to show 4 for the moment. We're specifically looking at our percentage of customers that are also going to other stores. So in this case, the percentages are pretty low. We're looking at 0.08% being the highest thing here, which seems to be Canyon Comforts Home Store. So at the very least, we know that this is much higher than the rest of the competition that we're showing. On to the next section. Our last one in this area is going to be geographic insights. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. So we're going to have a heat map on the left. This is going to be a geographic bar graph with each bar representing a zip code and its height and color representing the foot traffic in each of these zip codes that we find. On the right, we have a list of these same zip codes, including their percentages, and it's sorted by percentage, as well as a button that says demographics. So we'll click on that and we'll get the demographics for this zip code that we find. So this is going to show us the percentage of our customers and the percentage of customers in market. And then it's also going to show us some relevant census data pertaining to the zip code, such as population and income and age and so forth. All right, so that's the My Location Insights dashboard. Let's go ahead and look at the Market Insights dashboard. So this is going to look similar to the previous dashboard, but here we're going to be focusing mostly on our competition. So we're going to start with the market share by store. And this is going to look very similar to what we saw before, except it's also going to show us not only our bulk home furnishing locations, but the rest of our competition we have selected. Filtering is going to be very, very helpful here. So let's go ahead and pick out the outliers. And currently I'm really only seeing one, which is Pine Peak Furnishings. I can go over and filter by location, and I'll look for Pine Peak and both of our bulk homes and click apply. So now we can just narrow it down to our biggest competitor at the moment, and we can see their market share by month compared to ours, just as well as the 30-day change in market share. So now we can take a look at the geographic insights as well. And this is going to work exactly the same way that the geographic insights looks in the previous section. So we have our heat map, the different zip codes, and then we can have our demographics pop up as well. And bearing in mind, this is going to show the percentage of customers that are applied to our filter, right? So our 2 bulk home locations and the Pine Peak, it will take that filter into account as well as the percentage of customers in that market. So that's the market that we're looking at. So if I hit include all here, apply, and then that'll reload and we'll go back. Now you'll see percentage of customers in market and percentage of total customers. And then we have the same kind of census data that we were looking at before. Now, there's one last dashboard we can show today. Let's get a sneak preview of our newest edition, Unmasked. So an average of only 3% of website visitors will actually go through the process of filling out some kind of contact form. Installing Unmasked on your website allows you to see up to 70% of your website's visitors. So in the Unmasked dashboard, we can see business to consumer and business to business data. Both will give us a list of website visitors, their visit date, and their contact info or business contact info, respectively. Just like the previous dashboards, we have filters on the right side here. So if you want to filter down by date or date range or account, you can do so. And then you can even download this whole list as a CSV. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.